going, guys? John here, the basic expert, and look a little disheveled because I just woke up this morning and I had slacked this week and didn't make this video, so I'm making it on the day it's supposed to release before I have to head out and run some errands. But this week we're still continuing our discussion on Classic Traveler, and in particular we're talking about world generation. Now this is an important part of your Traveler campaign. You're going to need an area, a subsector it's called, for players to kind of roam about and explore. And you know, I think I should actually show you guys the Traveler map. So this is a free resource that exists, and you have, you know, these sectors, and then within are these subsectors here. If we go in here to the Spinward Marches, and you go to like the Sword Worlds or something, this is what we're kind of generating here. This 8x10 sort of map area, and as you can see, they kind of butt up against each other. So we're just gonna make part of one. I'm not gonna make an entire map, but part of one here, like where the Sword Worlds are. This is, again, going to be extremely useful. You're going to need this. You're going to need to do this before you do play, really. I mean, you should make at least one subsector map where your characters are at for that first session. And, you know, if they're in a spaceship, they might get out of that subsector pretty quick. So it's probably wise, after you make this initial one, to make the surrounding ones. There is this website, zodanispace.space/stuff/generators, and you can get a subsector generator. This one's for Mongoose Traveler, and it will generate a map for you as well, and it will name everything, so it's pretty cool. If you don't feel like doing what I'm about to do, I like making stuff by hand. I like doing that kind of stuff. So for me, the generators are cool if you maybe want to do an impromptu session, but they are not required for, if you're strapped for time, you can use a generator. And this website also has generators for characters. You're doing Cephas Engine, Classic Traveler, Mongoose Traveler, Mega Traveler. It has all the stuff in here for a lot of that kind of stuff. So super useful website. The zodanibase.space or zodani.space is where you can go to get a lot of this. And they have a generators tabs here where you can kind of see all the generators they have again. But let's go back to this. So I have right here in front of me this little map here. This is the map that you're again using. We got a blank one here, and let's look at what we got to do here. So star mapping says, in order to create a subsector, the referee uses a blank subsector grid and dice to determine the presence of systems, starports, and bases. The system hex format table shows the coding and placement for information about worlds within a subsector. This format should be used to allow players and referees to note the information that would normally be available to them. The referee may elect to omit some information and only allow it to be inserted after the players have determined it for themselves. So world occurrence, the basic, there's a basic 1/2 chance normally that a world and its attendant stellar system will be in a hex. Systemically check each hex. You're going to essentially roll, if you roll a 4, 5, or 6 on a d6, it means that there's a world there. So one other important thing to note is that each hex is 1 parsec, so 3.26 light years is what it's a lot of space. There's a lot of space here in Classic Traveler. So let's go back to this here, and let's start here in hex 101, and we'll do 101 and 201 and 301. We'll do these 3 hexes, and we'll determine if there's worlds in there. So we're gonna roll d6. I rolled a 6, so I'm gonna take my pen. I'm using my Cintiq here. I love my Cintiq, and let's use this pen here. There is a world here, so we're going to draw a little circle there in the middle, indicating that there is a world there. Let's go to 201. 4. So there's a world here too. And let's go to 301. 4. There's a world here as well. Let's do one more. Let's do 102. 1. So there's no world here. This will be blank. So we got these 3 worlds here. We know that there's worlds there. Let's see what else we got to do in order to do this here. So starport type. And we can read this here if you want to have it so that maybe they're on foreign pioneer space, you know, it's not very well colonized. You can add modifiers or DMs. So some of those 4s, like a DM -1, would mean that all those 4s, only the 6, there will only be one world rolled here. I think it was 101 where I rolled a 6. These 2 are 4s. So there'd only be one world in, let's say, 101. And these other 2 wouldn't be there. So you can kind of limit the number of worlds there would be. And you can apply modifiers like that as a referee to kind of make it so that maybe this subsector is a little less populated. So once again, though, let's look over here. So starport type. Many worlds have starports, their presence being essential to interstellar trade and commerce. Each world must be checked for its starport type. Throw 2 dice for each world in the subsector and mark the world with the letter indicated on the system contents table. The system contents table indicates one specific distribution of starports as a basis for star mapping, blah 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 blah. And you might also have bases. So let's go down here. I'm going to show you guys how I'm marking stuff where it's present here. So there's a world. We're going to put a starport type. If there's a naval base, we draw a little star. If it's a scout base, a little triangle. You can write the name in. If there's a world with no ocean, you could draw it with a circle like this. And if there's a gas giant, you can draw a smaller little circle there like that. So we want to know if there is a starport. So we got this table here. We're going to roll 2d6, and whatever it comes up with here is what the star system is. We rolled a 10, so that's E. Let's go back to our world as E. Let's go to 201. Let's roll there. That is 7. So what is 7? 7 is C. Okay. We'll put a C here. Let's go back over. Roll again for the other one. This is 6. 6 is B. So this is a B starport. So let's look at the explanations of what these different starports mean, which go here. So A is like excellent quality, B is a good quality installation, C is routine, D is poor, E is frontier. There's like no fuel facilities or base present. It's just marked by like you can land a ship here. X is no starport. No provision is made for any ship landings. So A is like the best. You're gonna find like stores, shipyards. They're gonna be constructing ships there. B is good. You're gonna be able to get fuel there, refined fuel for your ship. Get your ship maintenance done there. There might be a naval base. So E is frontier. Yeah, so no place to land. So let's look at what we got here. Let's look. This won't have E won't have any bases. So let's look at what we got. So E is not gonna have a base. C, scout bases may be present. So let's roll to see if we have a scout base on there. So we're gonna roll 2d6 again, and I rolled 7. So yes, there is a scout base on the C ones. So let's go back over to here. So let's put a little triangle there to indicate a scout base. Let's go. Let's see, what is the other one? B will definitely probably have navy base and or scout base may be present, so it might have both. Well, let's roll. We'll roll separately for naval and scout. So naval base is 7. We rolled another 7. No naval base. Let's roll for scout base. 8. 8 is yes for scout base. So this one has a scout base as well. Let's look back at our what we got to do here. Roll. So we got bases. Let's see if there's any gas giants. So a star system may have one or more gas giant planets. Similar to Jupiter or Saturn, the presence of a gas giant allows streamlined ships to refuel by skimming. This eliminates fuel costs for vessels and increases profit. It also allows refueling at systems that do not have starports. Refueling in this fashion generally requires about a week, including time travel to the gas giant. The actual skimming takes about 8 hours. Fuel gained by skimming is unrefined. Gas giants are relatively common. Throw 10 plus for a gas giant not to be present in the system. If one is present, mark the system with a hex. So let's go back to our world here. So we got 3 systems here. We're gonna throw, if we were to throw 10 or more, then there's no gas giant in 101. And we threw a 7, so that means there is. So let's throw a little circle there, indicating that there is a little gas giant. Let's do 201. 5. So yes, there's a little gas giant here, and 301. There is a gas giant there. I rolled a 4, so little gas giant here. All right, let's now look at system name. I'm not going to name them. Travel zones. Most worlds are so this is something that you just have to configure yourself. Whether it's like an amber travel zone, which indicates that travelers should indicate caution when traveling there, or red, which is like very dangerous, don't go there. And this can be due to war or anything like that. I don't think there's really any throws you can do to determine it. Let's go down over to here. You would probably base it off of law level, so you're going to probably do this after the fact. Like if there's a low law level on this planet, on these planets, you're probably not going to want to do that. And it's nice here too on page 12 or 116 of the PDF if you're using the facsimile edition here, but 12 of the second book, you got the world generation checklist. So we've determined the world occurrence, starport type, naval base, gas giant. We got to name the world, decide if it is travel zone coded, establish communication routes. So that's going to just be like, let me go back to here. That's just going to be deciding like, oh, you know, maybe these guys, let's do a different color. Use like green. Green. I said green. Let's just say like these guys communicate with it. They have trade routes between these 3 worlds. As a referee, as a game master, you're going to want to just kind of use your best common sense to link worlds as to how you think would fit there, or what would make sense. So generate universal planetary profile. So we're going to want to look at all these other things, law level, we're going to want to determine atmosphere. I have this nice little thing here. Every planet has a universal world profile, much like your character has a universal personal profile, which uses hexadecimal. And I don't think the book really explains it here. It just assumes that you're going to put things in order. I have this like traveler GM screen. I don't remember where I got it from. I think I got this on the recommendation of Seth Skorkowski, who talks a lot about Mongoose Traveler, but it works with Classic Traveler as well. So for this world, you know, you have the starport quality, planet size, atmosphere type, hydrographic percentage, population size, government, law level, and tech level, bases, and then any trade codes, travel zone. So this is a really useful little tool that you can use to, I think it'll work with Classic Traveler. You might have to switch some things up. I don't know if they have trade codes necessarily in Classic Traveler, but you do have a lot. You do have it here. So let's figure out our UPP code. We'll go down here to starports. We got a starport. Let's just do one for this guy here. So let's just write it here what its UPP code would be. BE. this is for 101. E, or the starport. Planet size, we're going to do 2d6, 2 dice minus 2, and then that will determine the size. So we rolled 6 minus 2 is 4, so it's going to be size 4. 4,000 miles or 6,400 kilometers. Let's go over here. So we got 4 for size. Let's go back up. So planet size, planetary atmosphere, 2D minus 7 plus size. So 2D minus 3 for planetary atmosphere for us, because our planet size is 4. So the net modifier is minus 3. 6. I rolled a 9, so 6. Let's look at what that would entail. So standard atmosphere. Let's look at hydrographics. It is possible for some worlds with vacuum atmospheres to have hydrographic percentages greater than 0. In such cases, the world has ice caps present. Water will not be freestanding liquid. So, right, so hydrographic percentage is not as clear as maybe some of the other rules. This is the way I would do it. So you have 2 dice, minus 7 plus atmosphere. We have an atmosphere on our world for 101 here, 6. So this means is 2d6 plus minus 7 plus 6 equals 2d minus 1. So we're going to roll 2d. We rolled a 7. It's 6. I'm going to go down to here and 60% water. I'm not going to count 0. I'm not going to count A. I'm only going to be concerned with these ones here in the middle. So yeah, 6. 60% water is what I'm going to say. So let's go to our area here and write this in our UWP. So E466. Let's go back up and continue generating our world here for this. So we did hydrographic percentage, population, 2D minus 2. The digit indicates the population is an exponent of 10. This may be viewed as the number of zeros following a 1. Thus, a population digit of 6 indicates a population of approximately 1 million. So, we're going to roll 2D minus 2. So that is 10, so 8. Let's go back down and look at what our population is. Let's just look at oh, there's nothing there. It's just 8. So let's just put it in our world here. 8. Planetary government, 2D minus 7 plus population. So our population is again 8. So that means that this is going to be a plus 1. So 2D minus 7 plus 8 is 2D plus 1. So let's roll 2D plus 1. We rolled 11, so 12. This is a very lawful planet. So that is 11. Let's kind of look to see if there's an explanation of law level. So it's going to be B. Non-charismatic leader. A previous charismatic dictator has been replaced by a leader through normal channels. So B. I'm going to fix this 8 because it looks like a B. It's really confusing with the 8 and the B next to each other, just because I have such horrible handwriting. So we did planetary government. Let's do law level, 2D minus 7 plus government. So we had government 11B. So it's going to be 2D minus 7 plus 11. So 7 minus 11 is 4. So plus 4. 2D plus 4. It's going to be very high level. 10, 14. Well, that's going to be just 9. There's nothing above like a 14 or anything like that, but 9. So possession of any weapon outside of one's residence is prohibited. Very, very strict world. So let's put a 9 there. That's what I'm gonna do. 9. And then technological level. So the degree of technological expertise and thus the capabilities of local industry depends greatly on the basic characteristics of a world. This technological index is generated based on one die throw, modified by DMs dependent on planetary characteristics. Consult the tech level table and reference the appropriate planetary digits with the description. Note all DMs indicated some and sum them. Okay, so we're gonna go down here. It was a area here to throw tech. So so starport size is E, so we don't get any modifiers from that. It is size 4, right? Size 4, yeah. So we get a +1 here. Atmosphere is, what is atmosphere? 6. So do we get a modifier here for 6? No modifier for 6. Geographics is 6. Nothing there. Population is 8. Nothing there. Government is... Oh, there is a... Should be E. Government should be E, but there's no modifier there, so... let's erase this here. We just get a +1. Apply them to 1D to find the tech level. Tech level is more fully presented. The table's on page 14 and 15. So let's roll 1D. 3 plus 1 is 4, so tech level 4. And we'll add that to our item here. Let's see here. Usually that's indicated by a dash like that. Okay, let's do that. So this is the profile for this world here. E46689B4, and this contains all the information that a referee would need to make a judgment on how to carry out this world. So, very high law level world, decent population, low tech level. Let's look at what the tech level would mean. So let's go back over to here. It says on page 14 and 15. So 4 revolvers, shotguns, so very lower tech level weaponry. They have artillery, no real armor, adding machine telephones, so they have very limited communications. It's a kind of a primitive world. Very, very low tech level. So players are probably going to have a hard time there at that world, although it will probably relatively safe, and at the starport at least they'll be able to find, I think, some things they need, but altogether, not the most, kind of a backwaters area. So, that's how you do world generation. You're just going to kind of complete this process throughout the rest of the entire planet here, with a subsector for each hex. You're going to do this. And this will help you generate a map. Again, you can apply dice modifiers of -1, +1 if you want to decrease the number of worlds or increase the number of worlds. This is how you can generate a map on your own to have your players adventure in. I think it's pretty cool. I really like this kind of system. Again, this might seem like it'll take a long time, and It very well could. There's generators that can do all this for you, but personally, I rather like generating things on my own. It's just kind of fun. It's like a little mini game in and of itself for me. So yeah, I rather like that. Actually, not quite done yet though. Let's see. We got the tech level. Additional. So this is for let's see. Trade level, trade classification. Additional details of specific world can be expressed by the trade classification in statements about the world. The referee should be able to establish new classifications when appropriate. So, that's this sort of poor non-industrial is going to have to be, I think, in the way I would interpret it, is up to the referee to determine that. And then you have it's a red zone here for their planet here, red zone, and there is a gas giant. That's what the R stands for. So being A there for amber zone, or I don't know, you leave it blank if it's safe for travel, I guess. But really, all you really need to do is what I did here. Make this universal world profile code. Insert it throughout all of your hexes, wherever there's a planet, do those rolls. I don't know, I think it's kind of fun. I kind of like it. I think this could be a great method for, like, even if you're not playing Traveler. You know, the subsector generation here is kind of fun. And if you're playing some other sci-fi game, if you're playing RPG Pundit's Star Adventure, you know, you could use this as a way of generating a map for the players to look at for the subsector. So I think that's all really kind of cool. That's all I have for this video. Kind of all over the place. Classic Traveler is a bit wonky, so for me, like, reading it, I love it, but it's been a bit like, I gotta read that again. This video's been highly edited because there was a lot of like, hold on, wait a minute, that isn't, I read that wrong, it doesn't make sense. But altogether, I do enjoy Classic Traveler. I do enjoy creating subsectors. I think it's kind of fun to make a map. It's just like a different experience than like making a fantasy map or something like that. It's a little more involved. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. If you like what I do, check out my subscribe star. People are asking about Atomic Punk 2160, my OSR sort of a little supplement, rules supplement to do like a Fallout style Atomic Punk kind of game. Should be releasing soon. Just looking at getting proofs done, and I'm doing a little bit more playtesting. Done some playtesting with a group of players as well as on my own, and I like the way it feels and it plays, so I feel pretty good about it. But you know, things could change. Who knows? I am working on a new. I'm working on Cowpunchers. I'm working on trying to do a cleaned up version that will include setting information for range bosses, which is what I term referees or game masters. I'm working on setting information for them and for players, refining the rules a little bit, making them a little more clear. I know there's some stuff that I just sort of assumed that you were privy to that is in my mind, but I never actually explained in sort of the 0 edition of Cowpunchers. And I think this is something I'm probably going to crowdfund because I want to be able to hire an editor and a proofreader, like professional editors and professional proofreaders, and maybe other artists to kind of help me do all the art, because I don't want to do all the art myself. It'd be a lot of art to do on my own, and I want to finish the book, divide up the labor, and get it out to people. And I'll probably be fulfilled through Lulu, I'm thinking, but I'm not 100% certain. But I'm thinking Lulu. But yeah, that's what's coming down the pipes. Check out again my subscribe star, an adventure a month, and I'm behind on dungeon maps. I'm going to do that this week. I owe you guys 3 dungeon maps. Usually I do a dungeon map a week. So dungeon maps will be coming, 3 of them, and for this week and the previous 2 weeks. I've just been so busy. But thanks for checking out my stuff. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Classic Traveler is a lot of fun, and I think it's a game that just needs more love. That's why I'm doing this video series. So until next week, talk to you guys later. Peace out.